Hello and welcome, beautiful yogi. Welcome to practice. Today we take it slow, which not necessarily means that it's easy. We just take a little longer and really simmer and take up all the sensation we can experience as we move from one shape to another. Something I love to do within my practice too, because obviously, there is a lot going on at the same time and it can feel a little overwhelming. So taking out the pace and really like simmering and getting marinated in a shape is a beautiful experience, and I can't wait to share this with you today. Find your way on your hands and your knees when you're ready. Having those hands placed underneath your shoulders and the knees underneath your hips, and then try to untuck your toes and place the top of the foot down as well. Lengthen your spine from the tailbone to the ground of your head and pull the shoulders simultaneously away from your ears, which brings even more length, especially to the neck part of your spine. And then from here, start to widen your sit bones, pelvis tilts forward, let your belly drop, feel that arch, and with that engagement through your lower back, and then start to climb up higher and higher, arcing the chest forward and upwards, and then lift the ground of your head up high. Feel how there is still support from the front of the body as you start to contract all those muscles along of your body. And then find your cat stretch from here, starting at the bottom again. So squeeze your sit bones towards another. Feel how your bum becomes firm. From here, tilt your pelvis backwards. Lift the belly button in. And then at the very end, start to draw round through the top part of your spine as well. Release again, widening the sit bones. Feeling still all those tiny little steps that are happening as we move from our cow stretch into our cat stretch. Feeling how you can really move those vertebrae isolated, how the spine becomes alive. Infuse your breath in it and feel how breath brings life to those movements. Exhale out, last one. And then return back into neutral position from here. Tuck your toes under and glide up into your downward facing dog, walking those hands a little further out. And feel free to keep this movement fluid in the beginning. Maybe even some more cat-cows, undulation through your spine. Shaking the head out, releasing the neck. Feel how it is a decompression for your spine, how your spine gets elongated more and more. Find depth in your breath, taking a deep breath into the stomach, up into the chest. Let your heart melt towards your thighs, open your lips, exhale out. Connect the big toes at the end of the yoga mat. Bring your right leg up high towards the sky. Keep your hips leveled as you do so. Keep on pushing the left heel into the floor and ground through your hands, creating even more of a split sensation between your legs as you work into two directions. At your highest point, start then to curl your knee towards your chest, curl your tailbone under, come high on the toes of your left foot, magnetize nose into towards your knee, and then from here start to ripple your way forward, step your right foot down between your hands. Let your left knee come down towards earth. Swipe arms back and around, bring your pelvis in a neutral position, and place your arms beside your ears. Take another breath in to lengthen, stay upright. Split your arms, bring your left arm to the front, the right arm behind you, and with that open into a twist. Bring your right arm around your lower back. Turn your left palm upwards, and then start to shift your hips forward, but at the same time, lean into a gentle back bend. You can look over your right shoulder down towards the floor. Stay here for another breath in. Then with an exhale out, spin your arms back down to frame your right foot, and find your way to the front of the yoga mat. Forward fold. Experiencing that decompression in the back of your neck by giving all of your weight into gravity. Allow earth to pull you. And soften your knees, sweep your arms back and around to come up, standing nice and tall, core engaged. Connect your palms over your head, pull your hands towards your heart center. Samastahiti. With a fresh breath, start to root down through your feet and then receive the rebound and lengthen through your whole body. Open your arms wide to the side, slingshot your heart forward, stay heavy in your toes as you find your forward fold. Come into a half lift, inhale, your highest point for your right foot, plug that thigh bone into your hip socket. So it is a lot of internal contraction, the core, the powerhouse around our navel is really active. And then keep on plucking the thigh into your joint as you start to stream that right leg all the way to the very end of the yoga mat. Bend into your right knee and step it down. Bend into your left knee to step right foot down. Bring your right arm all the way to the front, turn your right heel down, and then from here begin to cartwheel your arms up high to find your warrior two. Taking a moment here to feel your outer alignment first. Left knee sits on top of the left outer ankle. Left thigh bone is parallel to the floor. Our right leg is charged. The knife edge of the foot is pressing down. Our shoulders sit on top of our hips. Arms are extended to the front and to the back, and shoulders are relaxed. And once you feel all that, start then to shift to your inner alignment and feel what's actually going on inside of you, and what do you need to now adjust to make it really your own shape, your unique shape. Where do you have to build up a little more tension and support, and where can you actually find ease and relax into it? Your breath is your best friend for that. You take another breath in, and then with an exhale out, reverse your warrior. Reach past your left ear with that left arm, but keep on bending into that left knee to open through the left side body so beautifully. Stay here for one more breath, and then cartwheel your arms back down to frame your left foot. Step left foot to your right foot and come into a downward facing dog. Lift your heels up high, draw your chin towards your chest, round your way forward. Come into high plank. There's another opportunity to beautifully stretching the spine. Come into low plank, exhale out. Pushing over your toes forward and upwards. Baby cobra, if you feel ready, come into full cobra. And then from here, come halfway back down onto your stomach, to the point where you're able to hold yourself without your arms. Then bring your left arm across in front of your chest so you have a little bit support to stay lifted and arched through your heart. Then bend your right knee and reach with your right arm around to catch your right ankle. We're gonna focus on opening through the quad first. So hold your foot from the outside to the inside, and then let your right shoulder roll forward to create length for that right quad. To really channel all the energy and all the effort into our right quad, we want to have our bum firm, our lower back is extended, and we're going to press through the pubic bone down into the floor. So keep your lower back long in order to not leaking the effort through that body part. And it's your right quad that feels it all. Stay here for another breath in. And then with an exhale, use now your right leg to open through the front of the right shoulder, rolling that shoulder head back and arching more and more. Stay here for another breath. Try to have your hips beside each other, your shoulders beside each other. Wonderful. Then find softening again through the whole body and switch over to the other side. Bring your right forearm across, bend your left knee and reach around to catch your left ankle. Have your inner knees magnetized towards another. And then the first one is again just lengthening through that left quad. So draw your left heel down towards your sit bone. Left shoulder can roll forward. Press your pubic bone downwards. So it is really heavy through the top of your quad. And the bottom of your quad or your knee is slight. It might even be slightly lifted off the floor. Stay here for another breath in. And then with an exhale, start to kick now into your hand. And with that, you also add length and broadness to your left shoulder and your chest. Infuse breath to support all of that. One more. Beautiful. And then release and come back down with your leg. Bring your hands by your ribs and find your journey back up into your downward facing dog, adding in as many details as you wish to. Start then to lift your left leg up high to the sky. Press your right heel into the floor. So feel how moving the opposite direction simultaneously actually helps to create space, how they complement each other. Stay here for one more breath. With an exhale, curl your left knee into your chest and come all the way through, stepping left foot through between your thumbs. Drop your right knee down towards earth. Swipe arms back and around. Have shoulders on top of your hips, pelvis neutral. And then split your arms. Right arm goes to the front, left arm goes to the back. Try to keep your hips pulled towards the center line so the left knee doesn't flare and our hips don't rotate. It's all happening from the thoracic spine, so from the sternum upwards. Then get your left arm around your lower back. Turn your right palm upwards. Keep on squeezing that left thigh over to the right side. Keep on squeezing your hips forward and find that beautiful stretch towards the back of the wall by leaning into it. Stay here for one more breath in. With an exhale out, begin to spin your arms back down to frame your left foot. And then step your right foot beside your left foot. Find your forward fold. Stay here for an extra breath. Feel how much play we actually have in our feet before we would fall over. And with that, finding your center. Then soften your knees, sweep your arms back in and around. Come all the way up, standing nice and tall. Connect palms above your head. Drink earth energy in through your legs and pull sky energy in through your arms. fresh breath, fresh beginnings. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open your arms to the side. Slingshot your heart forward and find your forward fold. Come into half lift. Activate your core, so draw your navel towards the spine, shoulder blades away. There's that slight shoulder roll like we did earlier on our stomach. And then from here, activate again the deepest core muscle to plug that left thigh into your left hip joint. From here, stream that left leg, then all the way to the end of the yoga mat. Bend into your right knee and step your left foot down. Beautiful. Turn your left heel down to the floor, swipe left arm forward, upwards, and with that, cartwheel yourself up into Warrior Two, taking a moment again to feel the outer alignment first. Sometimes eyes can actually help as well because it feels different than it looks like. So for the outer alignment, check your form. See if you really are bent enough because it feels hard even if you sit up here. So we want to make sure that we go all the way. But then feel free to close your eyes and to focus on your breath, to drift towards that inner alignment where the real magic happens, where you can set yourself up in a way where it really serves you and your needs. Take another breath in here and then reverse your warrior. Spin your arms back down, frame your right foot. Come onto the ball of your left foot and step it back into a downward facing dog. Lift your heels up high, draw your chin towards your chest, round your way forward, coming into high plank, inhale. Find your low plank, exhale out. Moving forward and upwards, come into your back bend. Inhale, bum is firm, lower back is happy. Rolling over those toes and ankles, come into downward facing dog. Wonderful. Stay here for an extra breath, just giving yourself time to let things settle. And then let's go again, right leg goes up high to the sky. Feel when you can't go any higher and add in then a hip opener, a rolling right hip on top of the left hip. Without opening through the shoulders, keep them aligned. Bend then into your right knee, pull the heel over towards that left sit bone, engage through your hamstring and open again through the front of your right quad. Think of shifting and drifting your heart towards that left thigh. So it's really your hip that does most of the work. Stay here for another breath in. And then with an exhale, cross right knee from underneath over towards your left elbow. Squeeze, activate your core. Extend right leg over to the left side, be on the knife edge of it. Turn your left heel down towards the floor. And then free your left leg and come up into a fallen triangle. Keep on spinning your right bicep towards the front. Feel contraction through all those muscles along your back. And with that, opening through the front body and maybe some more lifting. Stay here for one more breath. Exhale out, bend into your left knee. Scoop your right hip from underneath forward and come into a seat. Both legs are straight. Both toes, both feet, 10 toes. Both knees are facing up the way. Find length first. And then with an exhale out, come into forward fold over your legs. Making this work in your ability if you can. You can reach for your feet to assist yourself for a little more depth here. Find stillness and with that space to feel how the shape feels like instead of getting too caught up in how that shape looks like. And accordingly adjust too, even if that means that you might be moving away from any traditional setup. Stay in here for one more breath. See if you can lengthen even more so the head begins to move further and further away from your pelvis. And then release. Use your hands to bring those shoulders back on top of your hips. We're going to bend our left knee across the yoga mat. And we're going to spin our right leg around to come into pigeon pose, but you're now facing the other way around. Beautiful. Make sure you feel everything leveled and facing forward. Then take another breath in from the toes of your right foot all the way up to the ground of your head. And then keep that length and come into a sleeping pigeon pose. So you can sink all the way down without losing length and most importantly without losing ease. So whenever we add more intensity, we almost want to add more breath too, or more consciousness towards our breath, so it stays relaxed. Stay in here for 2 more. And 1 more breath. And then slowly find your way back out again. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your right toes under. Hug your front body into your back body. Press that floor away. Join in with your left leg. And then come into 3-legged down dog. And pierce the sky with your left toes now. Yeah, noticing the point where you can't go any higher with that left heel without shifting your hips. And then begin to shift your hips. Bending into your left heel, pulling the left heel all the way over to the right sit bone. Your heart is still melting towards that right thigh. Stay here for another breath. And then keep your left knee bent and pull it from underneath all the way across towards your right elbow. Squeeze first. Extend left leg over to the side. Turn your right heel down. Find engagement through your backside first. Bum, back. And then from there, from that strong support and foundation, start to lift up towards the ceiling. Stay in here for another breath in. See in which areas you can stay relaxed, even though it is a very strong shape. And then release again. Turn your right knee up towards the sky. Bend it slightly. Scoop your hips under and come into seated position. Straighten both of your legs to the side. Have your shoulders on top of your hips. Arm in extension. Inhale. And then rotate your whole torso over your right leg. Have your feet flexed to fix and anchor those legs in space. And then lean over your right leg. And as you do so, watch your left leg. So sometimes the left leg would collapse and roll inwards. Have those muscles contracted that need to be contracted, that your left knee and your left foot is still facing up the way. And then from there, find more and more depth throughout your forward fold. Try to stay anchored through your left sit bone. Stay long through your spine. Stay here for 2 more breaths. One more breath. And then find your way back out. Going to switch over to the other side without skipping a step in between. So center yourself first. Lengthen your whole body. Inhale. Then turn over to the left leg. Watch that right leg. Don't let it collapse and roll forward as you fold over your left leg. So once again, we find ourselves in that interesting constellation where we really cultivate ease and effort at the same time. And it needs all our consciousness to be in balance and also to be in the right spots and areas. Often when we're not conscious, when we are in our head or outside of our body, it would be quite the opposite. We add more attention even in those areas where we would need to soften, and the other way around. So yeah, come back to yourself and become really curious what really brings you balance within the body. And stay here for 1 more breath. Exhale out. And then reset and come back out of it again. Bending that right knee now. And then swing your left leg around. So you are back to your first front. Lengthen, inhaling from the left foot all the way up to the ground of your head. And then from here, find your forward fold over that right leg without losing the length. Know that you have time too. You don't have to be the very end of your range right away. There are always so many things to explore and to see on the way. So don't skip over them by rushing. Stay here for another 2 breaths. One more breath. And then return back out of it. Hands are pushing into the floor. Tuck your left toes under. Hug your front body into your back body. Have everything switched on, and then lift your right leg up and step it into a downward facing dog. Lift your heels up high, draw your chin towards your chest, round your way forward, coming into high plank. Inhale. Unfurl fully, and then firm and squeeze as you lower yourself down into chaturanga. Coming over your toes up into cobra, upward facing dog. Finding your downward facing dog. Exhaling out. Lift your right heel up high towards the sky. Keep on pushing your left heel down towards the floor. Curl your right knee into your chest and step your right foot through between your hands. Drop your left knee down towards earth. Come up into low lunge. Place your bicep beside your ears. Pelvis is neutral, bum is firm. And then sink into your low lunge. Trying to keep that lower back nice and long. And then feel how you can squeeze your inner thighs towards another. And by really slimming your bottom, feel how the energy shoots up along your spine, brings length, energetic length towards your body, and with that also physical length. Stay here for one more breath. And then come back out of it. Beautiful. Tuck your left toes under. Split your arms. Turn your chest to the right side. Left arm goes in front, right arm goes behind you. And then from here, we're going to go on a little adventure. See if you can seek your left heel with your right hand. If you find it, rest your hand on it. Start on thrusting your hips towards the front of the room and then lean more and more into that back bend. Left hand goes behind you. Marinate in your breath in this shape. Simmer for one more. And then spin your arms back down. Bring that left elbow right to the outside of your right knee. Join with your right arm. Tuck your left toes under if you lost it and lift your left knee off the floor. Stay here for another breath in. Exhaling out. Stay low in your lunge, but turn your chest back to the front of the room. Frame your right foot. Shift all of your weight into your right foot and float that left leg up behind you. Try to use as little momentum as possible. Stay in your strength. From your warrior two, start to bow more and more over that right leg and come into standing split. Shift your gaze past your right leg towards the back of the room to really join fully with your whole body into that forward fold. Becoming light and light on your fingertips, lifting that left foot higher and higher. Stay where you're at for one more breath. And lean over your right leg, exhale out. And then rebend into your left knee. Soften your right knee at the same time. Don't step that left foot down, bring it with you. Whenever you feel balance, bring your hands over your head and pull that left knee up towards your sky. Flex your left foot and cross left ankle over your right knee. Bring your hands together in front of your heart center. And then from here, sit down over your right heel. Experience how a shape of your pelvis tilted forward or backwards really, really affects that shape, how it has a huge impact. And from there, find your perfect. What helps you most to really serve your needs today. Free then your right foot, go across your left foot from the top and reach for the knife edge of it. And from here start to stand up and have that left leg like a pigeon, floating pigeon in front of you. Stay for another breath in. And then with an exhale, shoot that left arm up towards the sky. Find your focus point. Let your left arm come down behind you and extend that right leg out in front of you. In your definition, in your ability. Balance here for another breath in. Exhale out. Beautiful. Rebend into that left knee. Keep your chest facing the left side. And then reach with your left leg all the way to the end of the yoga mat and step down. So you end up again in a warrior two. Shuffle your feet around if you didn't land there to the point where it feels right again. Then reverse your warrior with me. Bring your right arm all the way behind you. Keep that right knee bent in the beginning. Find full range with that knee bent. And once you feel you can't go any further, start then to straighten that right leg. And see how this brings a little more length now to that right hip joint. Have your bum firm. Imagine your sit bones want to face down towards your heel. Stay here for another breath in. Exhale out. Then flex your right foot towards your right shin. Turn and pivot on that right heel to turn right foot in. And then over your left leg, collapse and come into wide-legged forward fold. Letting everything hang. Stretching into the backside of your legs. And at the same time, also decompressing the spine again. So if you really let your head hang loose, feel how it brings this beautiful lengthening to your spine. Stay here for one more breath. And then release and come back out of it. Half lift, turn back to the front of the room. Step it back into a downward facing dog. Round your way forward, come into high plank, inhale. Find your low plank, exhale. From here, find your cobra or back bend, inhale. Returning back into a downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up high to the sky, so we stay on the right side. Bend your right knee and bring it across in front of your wrist, so you're back to our pigeon pose. Lengthen your left leg out of your hip socket. And then stay upright here, and for effect, we actually try to push ourselves off the floor a little bit. So press into your right knee, into your right foot, into your left leg, and with that, create height. Feel how everything pulls towards the center. So similar what we did in our lower lunge, we want to utilize everything from the bottom towards the center in order to create more length for our spine and also our lower back. Stay here for another breath, and then release 60% of that engagement. So you sink back down towards the floor, but there is that hugging from underneath. Set then your right hand in front of your left ankle, bend into your left knee, and see if you can reach around. You can just work and play here by pulling the heel in closer, or if it's in your practice, feel free to let that left foot slide into your elbow joint. Still hugging, 40%. Draw your navel in, keep your lower back nice and long. If it's there for you, free your right arm and bring it all the way over your head to maybe find that left hand. And then add in breath to create again space in those areas that can be spacious. Wherever you are, stay for another 2. One more. And then release. Right hand back down. Let your left foot come back down towards earth. Turn chest back towards the front of the room. And then just pull your right knee beside your left knee and come into child's pose for a moment. You can have your arms straight out in front of you, or underneath your forehead, or maybe you prefer to have your hands down beside your heels. And then listen to the echo. Feel the after ripples, the unfolding of the effort. Stay there, stay curious. And 2 more breaths. And then let's return back into our downward facing dog in your preferred way. Lift your left leg up high towards the ceiling, inhale. Curl your left knee into your chest and step your left foot through between your hands. Drop your right knee down towards earth, sweep your arms back and around, pelvis neutral, arms beside your ears. Pull everything towards the center line as you sink down. So the right hip also comes forward with the left hip. Feel the lengthening, the opening in front of your right hip. Stay here for 1 more breath. And then find your way back into an upright position. Tuck your right toes under. Bring your right arm to the front, your left arm to the back, and turn your chest to the side. Beautiful. Have your core really engaged, and then seek your right heel with your left hand. Maybe you find it, maybe you don't. Wherever you are, play with yourself and with pushing yourself out of a comfort zone. Stay here for another breath in. And then with an exhale, come out of it and bring that right elbow right across your left outer knee. Join in with your left hand and then float your right knee off the floor. Try to stay low through your hips, grounded through your hips. Taking 1 more breath in here. Exhaling out. Turn your chest back to the front with as little momentum as possible. So it's really a shift of weight and energy. Start to float that right leg up behind you. Keep your inner thighs squeezing towards another, and then find your forward fold. Seeking the sky with that right foot. Stay here for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then bend your right knee into your chest, soften your left knee. Don't step that right foot down, bring it with you. Coming all the way up nice and tall. Bring your arms over your head, lift that right knee up, and then cross right ankle over your left knee. Bring your hands together in front of your heart center and sit down towards your left heel. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Your face relaxed. Play with your pelvis if you're not quite sure. Oh, does it really feel wonderful and delicious today? Let's find our right foot with our left hand. Knife edge of it. Bring that leg up with you first. Find length in that left hip joint. Pull your shoulder heads back. Then from here, reach up with that right hand towards the sky. Drop right arm down behind you, and at the same time, straighten your right leg out in front of you and turn your chest to the side. Stay here for another breath in. Then rebend that right knee, let it go. Step it all the way to the end of the yoga mat. And with that, find your warrior two on the other side. Make sure everything is grounded to receive then lightness throughout the body. Stay here for another breath in. Then reverse your warrior. Right arm goes down along your right thigh, left fingertips can reach past your ear. Stay in for another breath in. Exhale out. Stay in that lean, but add in even more length by now straightening the left leg as well. And flex your left foot. Pivot on your left heel, turn that foot in. Over your right heel, come all the way down into a forward fold. Second round of this, which is so delicious and yummy. Or if it's in your practice, feel free to invert with me and come into either your headstand or your tripod headstand. If you choose tripod like me, make sure your hands are between your heels and the head is placed down in front of your fingertips. So you're creating a triangle shape with two hands and one head. Have your elbows magnetized towards another. Give more and more weight into your hands and your head, and then see if your legs might be able to float off the floor. Maybe closing them together. Keep those elbows together. Keep weight in your hands so head only carries a third of it. Wherever you are, stay for another 2 breaths. And then begin your journey back towards the floor if you were inverted, or into a half lift if you were just hanging. Let's all meet here. Inhale, half lift, and then turn back to the front of the yoga mat. Find your downward facing dog. Exhale out. One vinyasa if you want to take it, flush it out. Your next inhale, begin to lift that left leg up high, high, high to the sky. And then find pigeon pose now on the other side. Left leg goes across your wrists. Reach out of your right hip socket with that right leg. And then stay active. So you really hug everything from the outside inwards. And with that we receive length and strength too. Take another breath in here. And then let go 80%. 60% of it. So you sink back down and you're grounded, but there is support. And from here, bend into the right knee and pull the heel in. If it's there for you, you might want to let that foot come into your elbow joint. Stay in here, or if you want to move on, for your left arm to reach all the way around to maybe finding that right hand. And then marinate wherever you are. Two more breaths. One more breath here. Beautiful. In your own time, find your way out of it. And then this time, sit just over to the left side so you can bring that right leg around. Hold on to the back of your knee. Puff your chest up high. Inhale. And then round your way down. Exhale out. Step your feet a little wider than your hips. Spread your arms out to the side. And let your legs just drop from side to side. Allow this movement to affect your whole body. So it ripples up along your spine. It makes your head knot. Beautiful. Check in with yourself one more time. Is there something else you would want to do? Another twist, another inversion. Or are you ready for shavasana? whenever you are ready for shavasana, feel free to spread your whole body out. Kick your arms even further wide than you normally would, and your legs even wider than you normally would, so your body can fully express itself as it takes in all those new wisdoms we just got to experience throughout our practice. I leave you with it. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing this beautiful time with me. From my heart to yours, namaste.